Hello, everybody. Welcome to Living with Crohn's with Sherry Lip. That is me. Um, my first new episode in a little while. So I took a little break because I was working on some new things I'm going to share with you now. A couple of things I'm very excited about. But for starting off, just to say what's going on, while we wait for a couple of people to get on here. I was supposed to go on this yesterday, but Hurricane Hillary was going on, and I don't live on the coast, but they had us scheduled more in the Las Vegas area. So they had us scheduled that it was going to hit. So they started saying they were handing out sandbags, which had me a little worried. So I was like, I better prep for this because it could be happening any minute. But luckily, it did not hit us really. I mean, we got rain, we got some wind, but nothing terrible in my area, so it was a little worse up in the mountains surrounding Las Vegas. They got a lot of flooding and had to shelter in place, but we were okay. So, which is good. I don't mind that they gave the warnings because I'd rather have warnings than not. One time, many years ago now, I was stuck in my car in a snowstorm for 7 hours because they did not give any warnings or any like stay home or prep. So, snowstorm hit during a rush hour and iced the roads over, and a bunch of semis jackknifed and basically closed every major freeway. And we couldn't get out for 7 hours. So I'd rather be prepared and not have to do anything than not be prepared and be stuck somewhere dangerous. So that's all good. It was all good. So I'm back today and everything's good. You can see probably in my window that the sun is shining. So we're all back to normal here. Um, and my thoughts are out for the people who did have a lot of flooding because I know it's been pretty bad in some areas in California. Um, so what's new this month? I went to the SCDROCKS conference in Bellevue, Washington, and it was pretty fun because I actually am from Seattle. And so I got to go out there for the first time in quite a few years and see some of my old favorite places. And, I spent a couple of days, but I did the conference, which was great. If you've never done it, I definitely would consider going to a future one. It was so great to connect with everybody. But for me, I got to speak at it. So I spoke on Sunday and I went over my whole story, and that was just a great experience. Sharing it with people. I mean, I share it in little bits and pieces on here, but sharing my full story all at once, was something I hadn't really done like that before. Usually I'm kind of I'm kind of teaching in front of an audience, but this time I decided to share my story along with some of my tips as a coach. But that was such a great experience. I got a lot of great feedback on that. I think that I should be able to share a video of that with you guys coming up. I think it takes them a few weeks to edit. I'm not sure if those are available publicly right now or not, but I think they will be. Um, so I will give you more information on that when I have it, because I would really love to, for you guys to watch it and to get more feedback. So I can always, share, get in any tips from you on like what you want to hear. But I also just think, a lot of people have, everybody has a story with it. And I got a lot of people saying that it resonated with them because it was stuff that we don't always talk about. So kind of, getting out there and opening up, it was a good experience. It was kind of scary, but I did it and I'm so glad I did. But getting out there and connecting with people and talking to so many people who've been through this was great. So if you can ever, and hearing the other speakers, they were all great too. And getting SCD meals prepared that I didn't have to prepare, and being able to go. It's the first conference I've ever been to where I could just eat anything that was out because it was all, it was all SCD. It was all, and the caterers did a great job. I can't say enough about them. Because they prepared so many great meals, and so it was a really good experience. And if you're watching this and I connected with you there, please send me a message or leave a comment because I'd love to talk to you again. I got to talk to a lot of people, and I just, I'd love to catch up again with somebody because we didn't get a lot of time. So, and So in sharing my story, I went over a lot of things. Some things I've talked about before and some I haven't. But I did go over, kind of, a downfall where I went off and ate whatever I wanted for a while. I talked about my experience in getting diagnosed and some experiences traveling and dealing with other people. So it can be hard to talk about some of those things sometimes. So, if you want to talk to me more privately, I am happy to talk about those things. And that's why I share my stories so that people can, if they haven't had somebody to talk to, because I didn't when I first started this, I didn't really have anybody. I didn't know much. I didn't really even know a lot about Crohn's disease when I first got diagnosed. And so I didn't know anybody who had it. I hadn't even heard of it before I got diagnosed. So if you're kind of alone in that experience, just message me because I am happy to talk to anybody about it. And at the conference, I announced my new cookbook. Think I've talked about it here on YouTube yet. So, Don't Skip Dessert. That was my first one. It came out many years ago now, and some of you have that. But I'm happy to announce that Don't Skip Dessert Volume 2 is coming out in November 7th. And I'm very, very, very excited about it. It's going to have a lot of great recipes, a lot of new recipes. And the best thing, in the first one, I did it um, by myself. I'm doing this one by myself too, but I've learned so much since then, and also gotten way better at food photography. So every recipe in Don't Skip Dessert Volume 2 is going to have a full color picture of the recipe as I made it. No doctoring, no adding anything else to make it look better. The picture is as I made it. So if there's a little imperfection or it doesn't look perfect, that's because it's the way I made it. And sometimes these ingredients are limited, and you can't always make everything look exactly picture perfect. But I took picture anyway, and I think that it all looks good, and maybe it looks better if you take a realistic picture, because that's what we're going to eat. And the goal, of course, is to make our food look appetizing. So I try to make it look nice, but I don't do anything else to it to make it look more than it is. So I'm very excited about that. It's all SCD recipes. There's going to be 50 main recipes um, of desserts, but also I have an intro section where I go over some substitutions if you are just for in general. Also some substitutions if you're on a grain-free diet that's not necessarily SCD. So all recipes are SCD, but there are some guides in the beginning if you're paleo or GAPS, and some alternatives that you can use for that. And some alternatives to use if you're dairy-free and SCD. And I try to write that in the recipes too, but there's also a guide at the beginning. And at the beginning, there are some component recipes like for nut butters and some of the things that are ingredients in a recipe that you might want to make homemade. So it's going to have all of that. There's plenty of egg-free recipes. There's some dairy-free. There are some nut-free. So I try to get a variety to fit a lot of different people who are on SCD, and also write in like variations and substitutions so that you can easily, customize it to your preferences and dietary needs. Because I know a lot of people on SCD can't always eat all the same things. So when I make a recipe, I like to make them customizable as I can. Not everything works that way, but a lot of them are where you can customize it to your own needs. If you can't do nuts, if you can't do dairy, that's in there. So I'm very excited about that. The Kindle version is available for pre-sale right now on Amazon, so you can order that now. I put a link in the comments in the chat right now, and also, but there will be a physical version. It's just I can't put the pre-order up for that yet. But I will, and I'll be announcing that when I do. But if you have any questions about that, you can just give me a message or leave a comment here. I will check. And then I am also excited to announce that I am teaching a free Gut Health 101 for IBD class in September. I put the link to sign up. There's no obligations. This is me sharing just some more information that has to do with gut health in general as it pertains to IBD, because I think when we're on SCD, even with the book and even with other people, we're still kind of guessing. So this class is kind of is geared towards having, the more we understand things, the less we have to guess about what we're eating. So this class is going to be going over, general gut health as it pertains to IBD and some history. I was just working on it right before I did this, and it's going to be really good. I'm really excited about it. Some history of food, and history of IBD that really pertains, and it's just very interesting when we look at that big picture and start putting it all together. It's really fascinating. So I'm going to be going over some of that, but also going over how you start customizing and tailoring your diet for you, even within SCD or whatever it is you're doing, because we're all individuals. And so a lot of times we're asking people, well, did this work for you? And you'll get like a billion different answers. Well, no, it doesn't work for me, but I eat it all the time. So, that doesn't always work. There's no one size fits all, unfortunately, when it comes to diet. I wish there was, but unfortunately there isn't. So this class is geared toward helping you get started on building your own plan and really knowing yourself and what you can eat. I've talked about that a lot. And so this is going to be that. I'm really excited about it. So register for it. It's going to be a live class. I will have it available after, but I really would love for you to come live because we can ask questions and interact with each other. And it's going to be really fun. So please register for that. The link will be here. And also, if you have any questions about that, just find me and message me, and I will let you know more information if you have any questions. So those are my main updates. I wanted to let you know I am back for Living with Crohn's. I'm going to be doing these again, hopefully on a weekly basis. And like I said, sign up for my class. I'll be doing that. And I have a few other things in the works, like a community channel, not on YouTube, but a private one where we can get together. But that's still in the works, but it's coming soon. I'm very excited about that. So there's going to be some more kind of get together classes or workshops coming up in the future. And if there's anything you would want to see from me that you need help with, like cooking, please let me know. Just leave a comment or send me a message, because I would love to know, like, if you were taking a cooking class in a CD, like, what do you want to learn? What can I teach? So please let me know about that. But that is what I have for you today. I hope anybody who was in the hurricane is doing okay, and getting back to normal from that. As we were lucky here to not really get a huge impact from it. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you on the next show.